More games, more updates, more things to do. A fresh news video just landed. Hello Space Monkey, you're watching Space Crazy. Welcome to the channel and to our regular news roundup. Here you'll find news around any kind of science fiction game, especially if it has to do with space. If something happened last week in your favorite SF game and we missed it, be sure to tell us in the comments and we'll add the game to our list. My name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. Yes, Dune Awakening came out this week and we're still evaluating it, but have a video planned for sometime next week about how we feel about it. And The Altars is heavily knocking on our door. In between sessions we collected and curated what we consider the most important news for you all. Let's get to it. Surviving Ceres got its first major update this week. Be aware this update can break your ongoing plays as major building mechanics have been changed. Depending on how far you are in your playthrough, you may want to either start all over again or revert to an older version of the game. When leveling up, you will be informed if you've got stat points that you can spend, and the colonist AI has been corrected, including the traffic jams that can happen when too many colonists want to use the teleporter at the same time. Crafting recipe costs are now included in the tooltip, allowing you to quickly decide on plan. Keeping with recipes, you can now pin up to 5 of them, so you know what you need or wanted to do. There is now more snap points for the basic refinery, fuel refinery and basic manufacturer inside the base, so you have more flexibility in the design of your base. In that vein, the one-floor teleporter has been changed completely and has 4 snap points, but that means that some of those in your save may malfunction now. Remember what we said at the beginning of this section. There's now also a recycler that you can set up in your base so you can break down most of the objects back into their materials. New upgrades for the rockets add additional space in the inventories and can reduce their travel time to 3 minutes. Also, there's an emergency stop all crafting button on the machines now. Note that this does not free up the materials at the moment, but it may do so in a future upgrade. The next update will be concentrated on using drones for logistics, and the developer teases there's more to come and maybe further planets in the near and not so near future. Planet Crafter has done some small fixes, improving trade rocket synchronization on co-op, adding an autosave delay option and fixing the issue that you could get a complete DNA sequence when petting an animal. Also, they just published an update which they expect will be the last one surrounding the Moon's update, adding more loot on Aqualis and more containers on Selenia, with blueprints and fertilizer, and overall some text were corrected as well as some graphic issues. Forever Skies developers answered a series of questions this week, declaring they have a creative mode planned for anyone who wants just to build the prettiest ship, a kinda return of sticky notes, but they will be just icons, and making clear they are working on a Steam Deck verification, but there are some difficult obstacles in the way. They are also going to overhaul the game extensively so as to make the biomes more diverse, the things you find more randomized, but at the same time having you find the things you need to progress further from the level you are at, which is going to be difficult for sure. Also, more lore is incoming. Another thing you'll soon find will be a way to customize the difficulty level of the game to your detailed preferences. And they tease they are working on changing the gardening system as well as some more optional combat. They do stress though that Forever Skies will never be a combat-oriented game. For those of us who enjoy the game, it will surely be good news that not only has the team recouped the investment, they are even making a profit. Not only does this allow them to continue working on the game, it means we hopefully will see more of this team in the future. No Man's Sky is changing the mechanics of settlements big time in the so-called Beacon update. You can now become the mayor of up to 4 settlements instead of just 1. Every citizen of the settlement has special characteristics and there are completely robotic settlements. There is also a detailed record keeping, so your settlement or settlements get their own specific history and every achievement will be celebrated with fireworks. Also, you can go into full settlement management, decide what they produce and which buildings it has. Be aware each and every building influences the overall production of the settlement as well as the happiness of its inhabitants. On the other hand, this means you will have to protect it from attacks by hiring a squadron that is stationed there. One thing that always unnerved me was the limited choices when resolving disputes in settlements. This has now been expanded a little, now allowing you to find both citizens or dismissing the dispute altogether. All in all, this update will make the game a city builder adjacent game if you want to go that route. I just hope it does not need all the micromanagement some of the city builders end up forcing you to do. We'll have to see how it plays out.